There was once a husband in Texas whose love for his wife was said to be so powerful that when death took her away, he followed her only 2 days later, leaving behind one of the most haunting funeral photographs in American history. The chilling incident began in the brutal summer of 1921 in Tarrant County, Texas, when sorrow fell over a quiet farming community. After the death of Mary Sauter, a woman remembered for her gentle nature and the lifelong devotion she shared with her husband, Jefferson Sauter. For decades, the two had lived side by side beneath the vast Texas sky, building a simple life rooted in hard work, faith, and companionship. Neighbors often spoke of them as if they were one soul divided into two bodies, because wherever Mary went, Jefferson was never far behind. Then, on a hot July afternoon, Mary passed away. Something in Jefferson changed immediately. The once strong farmer became quiet, hollow, and distant. He barely spoke. He wandered the house in silence, staring at the empty spaces where Mary had once stood. Those close to him said it looked as though grief had drained the life from him before death ever arrived. And then, just 2 days later, Jefferson himself died. The news stunned the countryside. How could a man survive for decades beside his wife, only to die almost the moment she was gone? Some whispered that old age and heartbreak had simply crushed him. Others spoke in softer voices, saying Jefferson's heart had followed Mary, because it no longer knew how to beat alone. But what happened next turned the tragedy into legend. Instead of separate burials, the family made a decision so rare that people would speak about it for generations. A single oversized casket was prepared. There, side by side, Jefferson and Mary were laid together in death exactly as they had lived in life. One coffin, one farewell, one haunting image that would outlive them both. When mourners saw the couple resting beside each other in the same casket, many wept openly. Some called it beautiful. Others said it felt eerie, almost supernatural, as if death itself had failed to separate them. And that photograph survived. More than a century later, people still stare at it in disbelief. Two elderly lovers lying peacefully side by side, dressed for burial, looking as though they had simply fallen asleep together one final time. The mystery behind Jefferson's death was never wrapped in paranormal proof. Doctors and newspapers pointed toward grief, age, and physical decline. Today, some call it a broken heart, a real condition where shock and emotional trauma can affect the body in devastating ways. But in rural Texas, people remembered it differently. They remembered a husband who could not bear a world without the woman who had walked beside him for most of his life. And that is why Jefferson and Mary Sauter never became just another obituary from 1921. They became a story whispered like an old Texas ghost tale, not because of something evil, but because of something almost harder to explain. A love so deep that even death seemed to arrive hand in hand. And perhaps that is the most haunting mystery of all. After spending nearly an entire lifetime together, was Jefferson Sauter ever truly meant to wake up in a world where Mary no longer existed?